Hey, peace world. Thanks for pressing play on another Pay Me No Mind sports and entertainment video. I'm the channel owner here, Wood. Might talk some bite down boxing a little bit on the Valdez, the seventh round TKO, Oscar Valdez, TKO of Adam Lopez. Might get into that. But definitely had to come back and drop some thoughts on yesterday's loss, Michigan loss up in Ann Arbor to the visiting Ohio State Buckeyes. It was the first time I got to see the game in person. First trip to the big house, and it wasn't again. It was against my better judgment, but some family went with me, and I kind of got pulled in. You know, Again, man, the disparity in talent is there. The track record, is there in terms of. I saw a quote from Haskins Jr., the former Ohio State quarterback, where he said, Michigan looks at this as a rivalry. This is just another game for us. It's just an execution for us, in so many words. And that's kind of what it is. But the one thing that frustrates me is miss me with the how much money Jim Harbaugh makes. Get another coach. Except he hasn't done this, he hasn't done that. Blah blah blah. Give me the coaches that they should bring in. Name me the coaches that should be brought in. Okay? He got the money because he was in a situation where he could have entertained staying in the NFL. Things were in his favor. He also got that money, the bag that he got, because he's a Michigan man. Okay? No, things aren't going the way that people want them to go. And that's just what it is. But like I said, one part of that is running the program to a certain standard. And Michigan's been a 3-loss team basically the 2.5 decades plus that I've been rocking with the team. That's what we are. But one thing I will say, getting into the game yesterday, man, and I wanted to give this the title of, get us on the court and we're trouble. That's what we are now, right now, man. We're a basketball school. I think I just saw an image the other day of where after over 120 games, I believe, over the last 120 games, that there was only like one program that had a better record than the Michigan basketball team program. So I take that, man. I take that. But getting into this game, man, last year I said that I felt like it was a 2-point conversion that they went for to get back into the game. It might have been like at 14-13. They went for a 2-point conversion and they missed it, and it was a miserable play. It was a poorly executed play. It looked bad, and I felt like from that point, I mentioned last year that I thought that moment really just fractured the confidence of the team. Like, here we go. We just had a great drive, a great score. We bounced back, and then we went out here and tried to do something extra, and it failed. And immediately, all that momentum just rushed out of us because we looked so bad on a 2-point conversion. Here yesterday, they go for the first point after, and they miss it. And I'm like, why be damned? How do you miss a PAT? And then when they did come back and score to try to tie it up 14-14, I thought they did the smart thing, man, and just went for the PAT. Like, why change up and do something different this early in the game? It was still first quarter or whatever. But anyway, man, getting into where things take off. They could run the ball. The Buckeyes could run the ball at will. I mean, I was sitting there watching J.K. Dobbins go to work, and the offensive line, and I'm sitting in the end zone, so it's hard for me to gauge, what every run is, because I got to look up to the jumbotron or whatever and see how many actual yards were gained. Because somebody could go left and right 3 or 4 times, and it looked like 2 yards to me, and it was 9 yards. A lot of times it was 8 yards. But so Dobbins is putting in work. He goes over 200 yards. What, 3 or 4 touchdowns. I didn't take no notes with me. I was on the road. But you get and the defense, Michigan's defense could not get Ohio State off the field. The one time that they were going to get them off the field, they jump, offsides, and Ohio State gets to keep the ball and keep that drive alive, and I believe they went down and scored. But that's a situation where, as a dude on the ball, on the line, what is the possibility? Why are you even trying to go and block the punt? How important was it to get off the ball, off the snap that time, to get back in the backfield and do what exactly? Silly. You should have been so relieved that we finally got this offensive juggernaut off the field for once, man. I'm just gonna sit here and get my block, when the ball is snapped, and we get the ball and we get a chance to compete. They didn't do that. On the other silly moment of the day, they get they extended the one drive. This was before the punt that they messed up. They extended the drive because dude takes off Dobbins' shoe on the ground. He pulls his cleat off. And I don't think that extended the drive, but it might have taken him out of a bad down and distance situation. Maybe. I can't really remember that one. But then we get to Ohio State is driving. They're in the red zone, and we get that late hit out of bounds. And I think it's half the distance to the goal. Again, like right there, what are you doing? The margin of error for this game is so minute. Like, what are you doing? They scored on that possession. And then basically the rest of the game, man, Michigan is just struggling and fighting for everything. They're reacting to everything. They're trying. And then conversely, Ohio State is creating all of their moments. They're creating these situations. Justin Fields rolling out to throw the deep bomb in the end zone, creating that situation. The deep pass, that was a pretty throw. I was sitting in the end zone where that first deep touchdown that they scored. Was it Wilson? I think it was Wilson. Beats Metellus or whatever. But just to see that ball coming at me, and that was a beautiful play, man. I was like, damn, these boys are talented. But seriously, man, they were creating all of these things. We get to that 4th and 2 at our own 25-yard line. I think the score is 40. It's still 42-27 at that point. I believe it was 42-27. 4th and 2, and then you take Patterson off the field and go to this wild card or direct snap jump. It gets beat up badly, and Ohio State takes over. And it's 6 guys around me who paid to be there that day, and within seconds they know that was a terrible call. Like, how are you as a staff over there with all the money and all the experience and everything that you have, and that's the play that you called? I think it was a moment last year where they went for it. Maybe that was the 2-point conversion attempt, and the play basically only gave the player one decision. Like in here, when you have the running back with the ball, there's only one option there. So the other errors that hurt were Donovan Peoples-Jones drops the touchdown pass in the end zone. And I think they come back and kick the field goal. I think what that took him from 13 to 16 points, I believe. And that's the thing. Shea Patterson played good ball, man. I mean, he was out there throwing dimes a lot of the times, but none of the balls though are like vertical plays or somebody up the seam. Where you drop it in there, catch it, and the guy runs. Everything is like catch it, then let me turn around and see what I got to work with. But he did have some. They had some deep crossing routes. That one possession, I think after Ohio State scored on the short field from the 4th-and-2 decision, DPJ comes down and they go to him 3 straight times. 2 of the balls were catchable. He drops those, and then the third one was a little bit behind his head. He reached back and he missed that. And trying to wrap this up, man. Really, I thought Charbonnet should have had the ball more. I like Charbonnet's footwork. He's really, in my opinion, he has much better feet on him and is a little more elusive. Maybe they liked Haskin because he's more A to B. Maybe a bit of a more physical runner, but I thought Charbonnet should have got more touches. And then also, I thought Nico, I thought more balls should have went to Nico. In my opinion, I thought that was the better matchup, and I like Nico's size. And nothing to say, nothing wrong with DPJ. No real criticism against him, but spread the ball around and look for mismatches in your favor. So after that, man, I like I said, they're just a better team, man. They're just deeper, talented, bigger, better, faster playmakers, and better scheme and better. Everything is better scheme. Like I said, Michigan seems to have to work for everything, and Ohio State just seems to always have answers and options. But and then they didn't beat themselves. Like I said, the silly penalties. I think Michigan on their first drive or their second drive, trying to answer, after the Ohio State Buckeyes scored, it was a couple of passing interferences. I felt like Michigan didn't get called, and they might have got a little. DPJ is already where he's getting up, interacting with the referees and not focusing on the game or not focusing, but just. You kind of get into that victim role, Things are happening to us. They taking this game away from us, panicking a little bit. And so, anyway, man, like I said, Ohio State's just a talented team, one the best in the country, arguably. And Michigan. That was another thing. Like, how are you going to be able to play with them all day? You just had 2 years in a row where you sent quite a few guys to the NFL who are starting and, playing decent ball for their respective NFL teams. So coming into this year, with not the big names replacing those guys, how were you going to last, 60 minutes with these guys? So, they tried, man, but, 56-27 is the final. Last year was 63 points. Again, man, I'm not even too down on Harbaugh, even though I just said some of the stuff that I said. But, again, if you're talking about get rid of the guy, tell me who the top 3 candidates are and would be, because there's no Lincoln Riley standing out there right now at another program where somebody's going to come in and have that. You have a lot of faith or certainty that person can come in and have that type of impact. You just don't see that right now. So, like I said, if you want to argue about trying to get the kid over from the guy over from Minnesota, maybe. But just is what it is, man. So anyway, like I said, man, that was kind of my reaction to the game. I said it was dope seeing Chris Webber on the sidelines in the big house. Walking out of the building, I ran into Denard Robinson. Thought it was awesome because nobody was really like hanging around him. He was just walking by himself, and nobody was really. I don't want to say nobody wasn't noticing him, but hell, everybody was probably cold and just disappointed. And maybe you just didn't realize this black dude with the dreads and the I think he had some of the fronts in, and it was really nothing flashy about him per se, but maybe people were just miserable after another shellacking. But anyway, man, let me get on off of here. I just enjoyed the experience in itself, and look forward to the next time that I get to take it in person. And shout out to my wife for being out there in the elements with me. Her cousin, Big Nate, and my father-in-law. Just a nice little outing, and I enjoyed it from that perspective. Man, like I said, I already knew what the outcome was going to be, and you just saw the certain change points in the game when you knew things weren't going to go in the Wolverines' favor. And that's it, man. Let me get on out of here. This is Pay Me No Mind. You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. Peace.